welcome to my new show, Skate Fast, Turn Left. This is a show off of Skating Unfiltered, but I wanted to get a little bit more personal with the interviews. I'll be interviewing a bunch of skaters that are also my friends about races, specifically the challenges we have to overcome in our skating career, and just having fun talking to each other. Sometimes I think in interviews, you only see the professional side of ourselves. This time I just want to, let loose and, just have conversations, that we'd have in our day-to-day life about what we do. So let's start with our first show. I think it's a really, really good one, and I'm super grateful that this person put time in their schedule, their busy schedule, to allow me to interview her. So without further ado. I'm gonna try that again. Welcome to my new show, Skate Fast, Turn Left. For my first guest, my first skater on the show, I have someone that I have watched growing up with into amazing young woman. She's a multiple USARS national champion. She's on the junior national team, and she's part of one of the biggest teams in the country. And her family has a bank track in their backyard, which I need to clarify is usable, and you can have events on all the time. Because
that's not a question for me. You'll have to ask him that. I don't like to handle that.
But it's usable track. It's absolutely beautiful. So please welcome Torrie Weber. I've known you, I feel like it's been forever. I mean, our dads go way back. We still talk about that race.
It's the funniest thing ever. I literally can't get over it. I'm like, have you seen the video of mine and Jasmine's dad like taking each other out? I think it's so funny.
To this day, we won't know who's truly at fault, but I just find it's hilarious every single time somebody brings it up. I want to start back 2023, Emerald Coast. That was your first time skating world class.
At official age, I skated junior world class one time in 2022 in Orlando because of the way the age groups were. But like my first official year world class was like January 2023 at Army.
So how did you prepare for that? Because you weren't just skating juniors, you were skating senior world class.
Oh my gosh, wasn't I? I forgot.
Mine.
To be honest, I don't know if I was ever mentally ready for it. Like the whole last season was all just kind of like a big like run together. Like I was training and I was putting in the time, but mentally and like physically with like having anxiety meds and my heart rate being super high, it was just kind of like I don't feel like I was ever ready for any race or like any competition I went into. So it was just kind of like I went out there and then I ended up getting fourth overall, so in third outdoor. That was like a big accomplishment for me and boosted my confidence a lot, but still like was not what I wanted to do.
You got me in that long race.
Yeah, that was fun though.
You positioned yourself really well in that race.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I know they're gonna pick it up. I just gotta like sit in and relax and see what happens. So
No, I have to ask with it. So when I started world class, is it weird, racing people that you've looked up to? Because when I raced like Francesca and Kelsey, it was like, oh, I looked up to them and now I'm racing them.
yeah, I feel like it's just to me, it's kind of like, wow, I'm one of them now. Like, I'm a person that somebody else can look up to now because I'm now like in like that like division. It's just kind of cool being able to take on a role of knowing that people are like looking at you and like using you as a role model. So I feel like it's just kind of cool to be like in the group and like in the clique, I guess, if that's what you want to call it.
I don't know. Y'all just made me feel old. I was like, wow.
You're not old though. That's the thing.
I'm not, but watching you all grow up and then be like, oh, well, I'm racing them now.
Yeah, I bet that's weird.
It's a little bit weird, and I think when when you start going into that world class, my advice for them is always, because they always like, oh, well, they're a big name. I don't want to mess with them in the race. I was like, mess with me. Just do it. You're never
Yes.
gonna learn.
Like whenever you like get to world class, it's like you can't be afraid to mess with the people that have been there the longest. Like you have to get up in there and mix it around with them and earn their respect. Otherwise, you're not going to do
Yeah,
anything.
that's how you do it. You got to mix it up to earn the respect with it. If you hit like bump me in a race, I'm like, I'm not gonna be mad at you after the race. I'm gonna be like, okay, we're racing, let's go.
Yeah, it's just like you got to earn their respect some way.
Yeah. So now we're gonna fast forward. We did Emerald Coast, which I think you did really well your first year with it, especially outdoors. We're gonna go to France. I
Yeah,
know you've
I
raced.
have to prep myself for sure. But
I know you raced in Colombia for internationally, correct?
yeah, I did. I raced in Colombia twice and went over there for training twice. Yeah.
Now, how is that compared to when we were in France?
Well, I was a lot older in France. I feel like I raced the Columbia Nationals, and to be honest, it was one of the funnest things I've ever done. Still, out of everything that I've done, it has still been one of like my favorite experiences. They were just so like they were just really nice. Like I got to meet so many people that I'm still friends with like to this day. And it's like so many new friendships and just learned a lot about skating and how like their culture works, especially like with skating. They have like four tracks in the city. Like it's just like that is like their football. It's just like it was cool like learning how like that other culture adapts to skating and like how they do their schedule around it. And it I don't know, the racing was so much fun. I mean, I almost placed in a relay and then me and Alicia dropped the baton. And so we didn't get a medal.
They have
And so, but
batons.
me and Alicia almost girl. Yeah, so whenever you're like in that like 12 and under,
Hmm.
you have to like pass a baton relay. There's no pushes like running. And
Oh,
so me
okay.
and Alicia went to pass the baton and I didn't get it all the way in her hand. And so she went to grab it and I let go at the same time and the baton fell and we got DQ'd.
Oh, well, that's different. I like that
It was
idea though.
yeah. I don't recommend trying it. It was horrible. It was so stressful.
And so you went to France, you're going to France again. What is the experience? Describe it for people that maybe want to go to France in the future.
So France is totally different than Germany. France is like boom, 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 you're done. But I will say it's so like I feel like it's a very team bonding trip because you're with everyone, you're on the bus, you're traveling each night to like a different city. And I know some people will say that like they don't like how much traveling it is and it makes you really tired. But like everyone that you're racing against is doing the exact same thing every night, which is why I like it. It's just like you go to the next track and then they feed you and you get like a ticket and it's
Hmm.
just like the all around experience of like seeing everyone race and then like getting to go travel with your team. It kind of feels like I've never been to Worlds, but I feel like you're like with your team in
Hmm.
France. Like you're more of like a combined group. I don't know. It's cool. And then the racing is incredible. At night, I still remember at the second track before the senior ladies went off for like their, I think it was their 5K or 10K points race, and everyone was like beating on the wall under the light
Yeah.
stuff. That was so much fun.
Hmm.
Like, it's crazy.
That got me hyped to go, and I was like, I'm a sprint skating a long race. I was like, but we're just gonna go do it.
I know. It was just like, I don't know. They take skating to like a whole nother level over there. Like they make it so much more exciting.
Yeah, I think definitely on the bus, I would say you have more time to connect with people, even
Mhm.
sometimes than Worlds, because you're stuck on the bus for like 2 hours sometimes at one point. We were all
Yeah,
delirious the one
yeah.
night.
It was just like to the point where it was just like it was just time to have fun and then race when you needed to race. It was like you were getting sleep on the bus, but
Mhm.
everybody was just so like connected. It was like we're all tired. We're just having fun, but then we'd all go and race and do what we had to do. It was nice to be able to like for everyone to be able to like flip that switch from like okay, let's have fun. We're in another country. Let's team bond and then flip the switch back to like okay, I got to race.
Which
I feel
bus
like
were
everyone
we? We were bus one or bus two?
won. There was one.
Yeah, I think we had
No,
the
no,
better bus.
no.
Were we
I don't
two?
know which bus we were labeled as, but I thought we were bus one. But our bus was definitely the fun bus.
Yeah, it was like everyone's like, oh, I wish it was on your bus. I was like, we just were having fun, especially in the back of that bus.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
The last night, I don't think people you say you get tired, but to be honest, I don't think by the time you're done racing, you realize you're tired because it's so quick.
I feel like because it's so fast, there's so much adrenaline moving that like your legs are tired, but you're just kind of like, this is fun. And then there's adrenaline rush from like all the racing. So it's like I don't really feel like you ever like slow down. You don't have enough time to think about being tired because it's like boom, 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 done. And then you're done.
Yeah, 100% on that.
Yeah.
So we were at France. We had a couple of days off in Paris. Some people went to see the Eiffel Tower. Did you go
That's
see
what Yeah, we went to Paris and saw the Eiffel Tower, but there was a strike down the road from our Airbnb, so we couldn't see the Louvre or anything like that. So we saw the Eiffel Tower with all of its like they were fixing it, so there's like all sorts of like fences around it, and
Yep.
so yeah, that was. I really wish we could would have been able to see it at night, but we just don't have time because we were over there to skate. So it was just kind of like what we saw, we got to see, but it was
Yes,
pretty.
we did that. We went to the Eiffel Tower and then we met up with Paige and Ryan and uh we went to a mall. Like it was like their malls are different than the malls
Oh
here.
yeah, I know. We went to like that famous strip. That's where we went, and we got to see the what would it be called? The arch that's in the Tour de France. Is that what that would be called?
I think.
I don't know what that structure is called, but like the arch-looking structure that's in the Tour de France is in the shopping district. So
Okay.
we got that, and we got to see like all the Louis Vuitton stores and the Nike store. It was crazy. Like they had a whole showcase full of like all the different type of like Jordans. It was
Oh,
so
wow.
cool. Yeah, it was cool.
We went to like they were all separated. Like you had a mall just full of food and then they were trying to find, I guess, like Lululemon or something. They couldn't find it. I was like, well, I want to go see. There's a Vans down the way. And we ended up finding this weird like mall. It was like all like in a circle.
In a circle?
And, like you were walking around in a circle. Every like the middle was open.
That's weird. We should like change our malls. Maybe they'll be better if we change them to the way they are in France.
Well, you got to walk outside though too with it because like they're all separate.
Yeah. It's not
But
like an outlet more than like a mall. It's like an outlet. I feel like that's what it felt like. It's an outlet.
no, I have an outlet down the road. It's not like that.
Uh,
All right, so we were in France, couple days in Paris. Now we're in Germany. What was the training and the racing? Being on the fastest track in the world too.
to be honest, it's nothing like you picture it. Whenever you walk into the building, you think you know what it looks like from all the pictures, and then you walk and you're like, this is absolutely nothing like I pictured. Like it is so cool because it's so big. Like there's a restaurant inside where the track is, and it's just like it just has such a fun atmosphere to it. Like I'm so excited to go back this year. Like I'm so ready to go back to Europe. I mean, I was ready to go home last time, but I'm ready to go back now. And I just feel like being able to like train on it and understand how to skate the track was so much fun. Like the training was fun. It was hard, but it definitely prepared me for the race. I will say that. It definitely prepared me for it.
Oh, how was the house? Because I think it was, I don't think I've ever been in like a house full of skaters before until this.
To be honest, I fell on the stairs. I fell from the top of 12 stairs all the way down to the bottom. And it was, to be honest, it's funny now. It was not funny then, but it was funny. It's funny now. But there was just so much going on. Like, it was so much fun. But I was like, oh my gosh. There
It's
was
a
so,
lot at once.
yeah, there was just a lot going on. It was fun. But I heard that this year they're getting like two houses. Is that what they're doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's exciting. But it was, to be honest, the funniest part to me was the two fridges and then everybody's names labeled on all their food because
Mhm.
everybody would go to the store like once or twice a week and then they'd come back and they'd label everything. And then we tried to cook pasta. Were you there when we tried to cook pasta that night? And I accidentally grabbed one can of spicy tomato sauce and one can of
Oh
regular. So the
yeah.
pasta tasted so weird.
Yeah.
I was like, what is wrong? Something is not right with this pasta, but it was weird. It was fun though. Everyone, it was just funny. All the different trash cans. There was like 3 trash cans.
Yeah.
Their culture is just so different from ours. It's so funny.
Hmm. I will say in your defense on the stairs, they're steep.
They're slippery. I didn't wear socks for the rest of the time. So it was like the very tippy top, and there's big gaps in between
Oh,
each
yeah.
step that are that big. And
Hmm.
so I stepped down and I had my hydro flask in my phone. And then I slipped and flew backwards, and my hydro flask flew, and Jay and them were like under where the loft is, under the
Yeah.
stairs. And it flew down to where they were, and then it was like dong, 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 and then I went on the way down.
Yeah,
And
we
everybody was there's like this long at the end of the stairs, and everybody was down there eating except for maybe 2 people who were in the loft. And I was like, uh it was not funny at the time. It was the most embarrassing thing I'm pretty sure I've ever done. And then I fell down the stairs again from like 2 steps up.
mhm.
It was funny, but it was not funny at the same time.
I think it was down, like sitting eating both times.
Yeah, it was because I'm pretty sure it was like the next night.
Mhm.
I just like for some reason I decided to wear socks again. Like the steps, like because the gaps are so big, you're
They're
trying
steep.
to walk down them. Yeah, and the ones leading up to like the bedrooms at like those are steep.
Yes.
There's like no gaps, and the steps are like like there's only that much room, and it's like I thought I was gonna fall every single time I went in the house. I was
Mhm.
scared for my life.
At least you only had to go up like one, technically speaking, because your room was like right after the
Yeah,
one step up.
had to go up another little flight, and then the guys had to go up another one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I heard
Yeah.
their floor is just as crazy too, though.
I don't know. It's crazy. I didn't think it was as crazy as Worlds because at Worlds you're separated, maybe two or three tops in a room, and you're not always
Yeah.
on the same floor as much. Because over the past few years when I've been at World, it's kind of been separated. I think the only time we were in a house was there was only six of us tops, and it was like a little chalet in the Netherlands.
That's cool.
So it wasn't the guys weren't in the house. It was actually there was only two juniors. It was me and Kirsten, and then the other four were seniors. And then the other um house chalet was four juniors and two seniors.
Oh, that's weird. They just put all the seniors together and all the juniors together.
And I think it was just so we had like
People
some,
watching over. Oh,
yeah, kind of at the
yeah.
same time. Because all
That
juniors in the same area, if we don't know what we're doing, like we'd be
that
going over to the house
that
anyways.
is. I'd be like, I want a senior. Can you bring me a senior? Thanks.
Now we're going to talk about NSC because it was your first time skating. Unfortunately, I didn't get to skate you. I wanted to skate you in the NSC, but you skated endurance.
Oh man, I was so upset about that. No, that was like I don't know. I was like, I always knew I've watched it so many times and I've always heard like how hype it is, but until you're like coming out from behind banner with all the lights on you, like with everybody cheering you on, it's kind of
Mhm.
nerve-wracking. It's like, whoa, okay, there's a spotlight in your face. It's really fun though. It makes you feel special and it's like, it's just fun and hype and like feeling special because like you're not allowed to leave from like the NSC area.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool how they make the illusion of like a big like competition.
Yeah, I think it was really cool that they brought more people into it because at one point it was just there were like six or seven girls and you skated the endurance and the sprint. And I think it was
Yeah.
cool that they separated it and brought more girls in and the younger generation coming into it. Not only I think for you to like be involved, but I think also to help you, you know, see what it is and, this is what we do and they want you to help you more in racing as well.
Yeah, it's definitely I I mean, I was not in the best shape that I needed to be last year. So like the racing aspect, I definitely learned a lot on how NSC is, like especially the racing. And even though I didn't do how I wanted to, like just being able to be, hey, I've been an NSC, like that's just a big title in itself. It's just being able to say that I've raced NSC.
Mhm.
Like, so I was just proud that I was even like asked to be in it in the first place.
And now, how did you think of the track? Because it is different than USAR's track.
It feels very long. Is it longer or is it shorter?
Yeah, I'm not completely sure for as long as I've skated it.
I
I
know the
know,
straightaways are really narrow.
no, I think it's the opposite, isn't it? Because it's easier to
Is the
pass.
opposite? Is it okay? So maybe they're wider. I don't know. Something was the track felt better, to be honest. I liked the track better than like the normal
Oh,
racetrack. I liked it
USAR's.
better. Yeah, I thought it was fun. I don't think I really realized it until I out there like on practice day. I don't think I realized it though
Mhm.
until I went out there and like warmed up on it on like the night of racing. I don't think I realized that the track was different until like all the lights were off and I was skating and I was like, something is different. The way you like exit the corner is different because of the way the cones are set up. Like
Mhm.
it's not, it's like if it's wider, then like it's a wider exit. It's
Yeah.
like deeper exit so you don't like so no one flies by you.
Yeah,
It
I've
was
never.
definitely, it makes it like a fair game for everybody because the track's different. There's a recording for the start, which I think is so funny because they'll send you the recording and tell you to listen to the recording, and I legit listened to it. And I was like, I'm not gonna remember this. I'm not gonna remember it.
My dad had me do it. I'm just like, I'm just gonna go off reaction for because there's always jumps in it, even because
Yeah,
you anticipate it sooner. So I'm just like,
yeah.
there's leaning
And
allowed.
doesn't the first jump goes to the field, right? And then the next person to jumps out. So don't some people jump on purpose to make like a jump to the field?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also because they changed it because the year before it was like you basically had 3 times to jump before you were out. But this time it changed. I think because there were so many jumps the previous year. So they're like, okay, we're just gonna.
No, the first race there was like two jumps. Somebody was out in the first race, in the men's race, because the men went first, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that somebody jumped out in the first race. I don't remember who it was, but we were all sitting over there watching. We were like, "Oh,
Because you guys were
that."
next. They went sprint and then endurance and then sprint
Yeah,
and endurance.
mhm. Yeah. So
It had to
it
be
was
more
it,
nerve-wracking.
do what?
So
What did
that
you say?
had to have been more nerve-wracking after like seeing somebody jump out and you're like, oh,
Oh yeah, I was like, well, that sucks. I don't even remember who it was.
wasn't it
I don't,
Spencer?
or was I thought it was Alex Holmes.
Hmm, one of them jumped. I thought,
He and my boys jumped. I don't know which one, but it was one of them.
I think one jumped in one and one jumped in the other. Because didn't someone jump out in the sprint too? Like the second sprint?
I don't know. I was tired by the time I got to there. So I don't know.
You had a 13 and 10, right?
It's a 13 and 16, I think. No, is it a 13 and 10? No, it's either 13 or 13 and 16. I thought we went up in endurance. Like I thought we did a 13 and then or a 16 and then 13. I don't know.
No. I think
I
the
don't
guys do a 16. I don't know. The last time I
I
skated,
don't know. I don't Paige told me the distances, but I don't remember. I know we do a 13 and then it's either a 10 or a 16. I don't know which one.
I don't know what I did endurance, which is way back when. It was they did a 13 and a 10 because I think they recently like reposted one of the endurance race videos I was in. I was like, oh, I got third in it, but I was like, I died. I see
Yeah,
you
no,
see
I
Paige
love
trying to catch me.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so we see skated NSC, but you didn't skate indoor nationals. Was that weird?
Yeah, to be honest, you didn't either. Both of
Yeah, I
our
know.
your flight was the next day, and then mine got moved to the next day. So we were just sitting around watching everybody race. I was like, I was excited to not have all the stress, but then my flight got canceled, and I had to stay there and watch everybody. And I was like, this is not fun at all. I was like, I want to go home. It's like you always are like, oh my gosh, it's so nerve wracking. But then when you're there watching everybody race without you, it's like, okay, this is not fun.
I
I
want to
don't
be in
care.
it.
skate. Yeah. It's like you feel so left out because you're like, well, I want to skate too.
Yeah, I know. I was texting you on the plane. I was like, "What's going on?" Because I know you were there. I was like, "What just happened?"
Yeah.
Because I was able to
I was
watch
like,
it.
well, this happened, but then this happened. There was so much happened in the first day. Like I wasn't even skating and so much was happening. I was like, oh my gosh, I want to stay and skate, but it was just not, I just couldn't stay.
Yeah, it was definitely weird because when I was watching it like on TV when I got home, I was like, "This is just so weird to watch the racing and
Not,
not be in it."
yeah. I feel like I'm so used. Like that is the first I have raced nationals every year since I've made it since 2014, and there is not a year that I have not raced it. And I was like, this is weird.
Yeah,
Like,
besides COVID.
yeah, I was like, this is weird. Like
Huh.
it was 2019, and then nothing in 2020, and then 2021, and then for some reason, I don't, it was because outdoor nationals was so close. So
Mhm.
I just went home to like get back to training. But now that like I think back to it, I kind of wish that I would have stayed and raced because I feel like it would have told me what I needed to improve and work on. So
Mhm.
now that like thinking back, I kind of wish I would have stayed to skate, but then I also know what I did definitely helped me. So it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, which one do you do?
I haven't missed internationals in 16 years. This was the first year that I missed.
Yeah, that it was so weird. It just felt odd. It was honestly kind of sad. Like it was weird, but it was sad because it was like, wow, I'm missing all of that, and I've never missed it before. I miss sprint night because I like all the energy, and we won the year before on sprint
Mhm.
night, then had to give it away on endurance night, but we still won. Okay, and so I was really excited to like do that, and then I was like, wait, no, I'm not even staying.
Mhm.
It was just weird, but
Yeah, but no, it's definitely, I think for me, I don't necessarily regret not doing it because I also had American Championships right before it. So, but I did the same thing
yeah,
as you, where outdoor nationals is so close, and you just need to get back into training and to do that. So, like, we did American Championships, and then I didn't break any training for NSC, and then I just went straight for outdoor nationals to try to
yeah,
you know, peak in ways, but not, you can't really peak as much as possible at outdoor nationals if, you plan to go to worlds.
yeah, hmm yeah,
So I'm glad that it's a lot earlier this year that if you make team, you can train. Could really hoping if they had a residency, but that's probably not going to happen this year because it takes a lot of planning to do for that.
yeah,
And we
yeah.
also have indoor nationals in July, so that makes it harder.
Yeah, that does make it harder having indoor nationals right after that.
And so now we're going to talk about outdoor nationals and team trials. So before I get anything, I wanted to say this to you because I think I wrote this down because I wanted to make sure I said this correctly.
Okay.
And so I wanted to say that you were very strong that year. You're even stronger now, just killing it. But you were strong, and in my opinion, there were so many outside forces, not to say working against you, but made it harder for you in racing and just, at trials. So that was one of the main reasons you had so many challenges at trials. I wanted to bring this topic up, and I wanted to get your feelings on what you're feeling during and then after everything, because I've been in the position where you train all year and then just something like
Yeah.
happens and you just miss it by like this much.
Yeah. It was last year was definitely like a year of like ups and downs. And then to be honest, I knew when I went in that I was not like where I needed to be physically. Like mentally, I was like, okay, possibly. But being on anxiety meds shot my heart rate up so high. That's not an excuse for not making team, but it also messes with your head mentally when you know you're dead going into a race.
Mhm.
Like, I just feel like I tried to go into every race with like a positive mindset. I had Gypsy there helping me. I had my dad there. I had every source that I needed to make team, but it just didn't happen, and that's okay. But I will definitely say it was training your whole life for something and then finally getting to the point where it's like, oh my gosh, you can make team and not making it your first year definitely can like change your perspective on a lot of different things. Like I came home and took like a month and a half of skating twice a week on the track just to help Paige and Ryan train for Worlds. I went to church and focused solely on just like getting myself like better as a person and my mindset back to where I knew it needed to be. And then I finally decided, okay, am I going to do this or am I going to be like sulking in what happened or am I going to come back from it? And so I chose to start training, and that's when like I finally realized like I fell out of love with my sport for so long that it just felt like I don't want to train because I'm not winning, but I'm not winning because I'm not training. And it was just kind of like a loop cycle. So I finally decided, okay, if I want to do this and I want to be good at it, I'm going to have to go back to how I used to be and train. Like I know how to train. And so that's what I decided to do. But overall at trials, it was just like I had so much fun and I even ended up placing in 1,000. I don't know how,
That was a
but
race.
yeah. And then I got fifth in the 15K on road. So that was, I will say, I ended my outdoor nationals on a high note by getting fifth in the 15K, which I did not know that I was even like capable of doing, but it happened. Like ending it on a high note definitely helped, but it was definitely one of the saddest years I've ever had for skating. It was definitely one of the most like disappointing, but I also know that like I'm the only one that was like letting myself down is because like I went into it unprepared. But I also just like didn't have like one training, like I would go into one training and I was dead because my heart rate was so high. So I came home and I decided, okay, it is time to get off of it. So I've weaned off my meds and now I've been off of them for like almost a month completely. And I just feel like 100 better. So that also helps a lot with just like mentally knowing, hey, like I did it, I'm fine. And now like I can solely focus on like training and nothing else. So
Well, everything that you're doing is working because you had an amazing showing at Emerald Coast. You know, there are situations
thank
where um there are moments like that that could, make or break an athlete. And for you, you were like, this isn't gonna break me. I'm gonna come back 10 times stronger.
yeah.
And it's always like
Yeah.
you ask for strength and he's like, I'm gonna put you in these situations to make you stronger. So that's my,
Yeah.
with it.
I I definitely my whole family and a lot of people that I like knew super closely, even myself, I thought that I was done skating. I thought that I was like done with the sport. I had just not been was not enjoying any part of it because I'd go train and I'd be tired. Nothing about it was fun. I would be dead in the warm up. And so even like my whole family thought that I was done. My dad thought I was like done, done. Like I was done with skating. And then I had a month and a half and I was like, okay, I'm ready. And then I decided to train for the marathon and went to the marathon and then I got second in junior. So, and then placing there is really what kind of like set like my mindset for Emerald Coast and for like what's going to happen this year is how I did there. So, yeah.
Yeah, Emerald Coast. That was definitely a showing. Like there were races with you where you would be back and we're like, oh, well, maybe she'll get second or third in this race. And you just come out of nowhere and we're like, oh no, she's winning this race. Like she's not settling. She'll go to the very last lap, last corner, whatever it is. She's gonna fight to that finish.
Yeah, that's something that I changed my mindset to do is like if you like just to finish, like finish with everything that you have and then you can be tired. Like it's just kind of like I feel like my mindset has shifted to where like I'm not dead, I'm just getting started. Like I'm ready to like go now. Like even when I'm dead tired, I'm like everybody's just as tired as I am. It's just like who can push through it the hardest.
Man, my dad says that all the time.
So does my dad, which is where I get it from. So
So with Emerald Coast, Weber Skateway,
okay.
that beautiful track. It's absolutely amazing. I love the track. At first when I was there and your dad's like, it's gonna be this narrow, I was like, that looks really narrow for a track. He's like, oh no, no, no. You just gotta you'll see it's gonna be perfect. And when I skated, I was like, well, this is really nice. But I also at the time I just came from a really wide track because Argentina was super duper
Yeah,
wide. And so I was like,
yeah.
this is gonna look narrow. And then I was like, oh no, it's perfect in it for the size of it. So the Weber Skateway, what are like how has life been since the track? Some pros and cons.
It's definitely a pro to be able to walk out my back door because it's like I don't have any excuse. It's just kind of like, okay, it's time to go train. Walk out the back door to go train. It kind of having it there is actually kind of like a motivation to like tell myself that I have everything that I need to be the best version that I can be of myself. So to just like go do it. And it's really weird. I will say walking out your back door to like one of the biggest competitions in the US is like
Mm.
at first it's kind of weird. It's like, wow, I have world champions in my backyard. Like, okay. It's kind of weird at first. And I always thought it was weird looking out my bedroom window to see a skating rink, but now looking out my bedroom window to see a track is like completely different. Like just being able to have it in my backyard, like it's like he did not build it for me. He built it for everybody, but it's so nice having it to where like I'm gonna use it as much as I can because it's there. Like he built it for skating to be better, but like me having it there is also gonna help and benefit me. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes. See, I
Yes.
want to clarify with that too. The track was built for the
It was
US to
built
make
for
the US
everybody. Also,
better.
the US can go to worlds and win medals. It was not built for me to go and win a medal. It was built for everybody to come train to go win a medal, not just me.
Yeah.
Like it was built for everybody.
I know that. I'm just saying for everybody watching this, because it's been a thing like this track, because Dave believes that we can get back to the top and he wants to help get the US back to the top with this track.
He's tired of losing. He's ready to win again as a country.
Yes. And so you met a lot of world champions.
It did. It was so much fun.
How was that? I know you have your favorite.
No, I don't have favorites. No, actually, me and Mafe was probably it was probably one of the most like awing experiences. I've always heard a lot about her. I watched her race in Germany and I saw like the whole junk team. My mom was like, the junk team is over there practicing. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want to go watch. So we went over there and they ended up skating practice with us and we were like teaching her how to pass. And
Yeah.
it was like meeting her was such like a eye-opening experience because like to hear her talk about her training and what she thinks like of me and how I skate and just like hear her say some of the things that she said is just kind of like wow, I can do this. Like and hearing a world champion cheer me on from the side in the money race is just kind of cool. Like to just think about it and to hear her call me like her friend is like they just want to be treated like normal people and when you treat
Mhm.
them like normal people, it's like yes they're a world champion and they have that
Mhm.
amazing title but they're still just people and they still
Yeah.
just want to be treated like everybody else and I feel like when you do that it really like opens up an opportunity to have like a friendship with them.
No, yeah, 100%. I got to talk with Mafe a lot about not just training, but how she views like the differences between like Colombia and then the
Yeah,
US,
yeah,
organizations and everything like that and training. So that was very interesting to talk to her about that. Um, when we were getting ready to do the 500, I was like super nervous because I was like, this is the world champion in the 500. I'm starting next to
it's
the world champion
zero
in the 500.
start.
I know. Um, and then she flew by me, and I think what was really cool because I rewatched this video like the 500 so many times, and just seeing next because it's like me and then her like right next to each other. I've learned so much just in that video, watching and skating. Like even though she went by me, just seeing like form and everything, what I have to work on, things like that, and that's just racing her specifically for that.
Yeah, yeah,
But that was I think it was really cool having Mafe there, Duccio as well, Vincenzo, Jacobo, Steven, all those world champions that
yeah,
came there. It was really, really cool. I think it was eye-opening for some people as
yeah.
well,
Hmm. Yeah,
especially because there a lot of people were like they watched. Duccio, Hokobo, and Steven in the 500. They're flying
That,
in at the same time.
that
We're like, yeah, this is where we gotta be.
yeah, that was crazy. It was insane. And for them to come in and actually do that good at indoor is amazing. Like Ducci was actually really good at indoor, and him and Vincenzo are racing the like Italian indoor nationals. They're coming up. I don't know
Oh, is
when,
it
but
indoors? I thought it was outdoors.
it said indoor on it. When I looked at like I was scrolling and Vincenzo's posted like the Italian indoor championships.
Oh, so that means indoor world championships gotta be coming soon.
I know, right?
No, I'm just saying we got it because the UK or Great Britain, they had theirs recently. They just finished up their indoor
Mm-hmm.
national champion or
I
their
actually saw a
championship.
lot of the girls I raced like in Germany. A lot of them were racing it, and I was like, I want to go race.
I kind of want to as well, but remember, they don't race on floors that
I
we
go
race
for it.
on.
Yeah, yeah.
So if they were to come race us, like it's more than likely maybe world championships would be in the US because we have the floors,
Yeah. Yeah.
but they're not used to all the grip with it.
Yeah. You learn to put power down when you have a grippy floor.
With them, they're like sliding. But if you watch them racing, they're also they skate that whole thing. They do not stop. Their feet do not
No.
stop moving. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I don't know if they're skating the same like track that we have. Like
It
it's
looks
open.
short.
Yeah. Because they're
It
like
does
doing
not look
circles.
it does not look like 100. It looks like a tennis court, like an inside, like or like a hockey court or something.
Yeah, and all of them are different. They're not all the same like I think distance wise, if they're between like 190, 80 meters, like I don't know specifically on it. They don't all look the same, to be honest.
No. Mm-mm. No, they
But
don't.
they're doing indoors, so they're trying because they, as you can see, like if you don't do indoors, it's a lot harder. And I think they saw that when people came over to the US, like, okay, well, we have to practice this. We can't just go and expect to
Yeah.
do really, really well. Yeah,
Hmm.
like a lot of them when they came over did really well for indoors. So Kobo got second, I think, in the long race, I think it was the
Yeah. Yeah.
30.
Rolling 30. Mhm.
I recorded that. I finished my race and I was like, oh, can I record this race? I
Video
think I was
was
out
so.
of breath watching, like just trying to record because I didn't recover from my own race.
Yeah. No, I remember watching the video. It was like Matthew came corner and all of a sudden he like trips on thin air and he slides. And then Jacob Anderson slides into like the straightaway like he's like in Mario Kart. And then
Mhm.
Duccio flips over and like slams into the pole. And then the next lap they come around. Spencer Curtis just like trips over his own 2 feet and face plants. And I was like, that was eventful. I don't even think I remember watching that fall. Like I didn't even remember it that in depth until I watched it. It was so crazy though.
It was a crazy. Well, I think Matthew lost his balance because the one guy like kind of he passed, but kind of like sat Matthew's hips down because he kind of just like sat.
Yeah. He legit sat down and slid and then Jacob Anderson flew on his stomach and
Hmm.
like spun in a circle like he was on ice. And then
Hmm.
Duccio, I don't know who he flipped over. It was either Matthew or Jacob. And then he like slammed into the pole and I was like, oh, that hurt. It was crazy.
Yeah, it
It
was
was
definitely a race. I was glad we didn't have that because in the past 3 or 4 years we've always had that long race.
mhm.
I think you've been in it when there was a fall. No,
Mm-mm. No,
you
I
didn't
wasn't.
have one the year you raced.
Mm-mm.
Wow. So it's because you skated world class that we didn't have any more falls.
Well, I guess.
Because
Maybe we could that way.
every other year, yeah, we've been in it. And you can ask Paige with it. There was always a fall, and it was usually always in the farther end.
Yeah. Mhm.
And it was like sometimes it was just like it could have when you watch it, it could have been avoidable. And I'm like, how does this happen?
Yeah. It's always like the mass start like long race. For some reason this year it did not click in my head that I had three distances. Or no. I don't know. For some reason, I was, hey, I have another distance. I was like, oh, okay. I like, for some reason, I didn't click this year. And I was like, oh, wait, I have another distance.
You got that long race.
Yeah, but luckily we didn't have as many as the guys, so we didn't have to have heats for it. That was nice.
Yeah, I don't like heats in the longer. I'm glad that they do that within, so there's not heats in long races, but it's kind of hard when, like, let's say you draw from the back of the
Mhm.
pack and someone that's just as fast as you draws from the front. I'm like, how is that?
It's so stressful. I remember me and Gabby were both like fourth, like I was on the inside pack and she was on the outside pack, and we were like, well, I guess it's time. And we were just kind of like, at least we were up that close, but it's still like because there's two packs, it's like if you're on the outside, it's like which way are you gonna go?
Yeah, I was on the outside this year. I was like 4 or 5 back from the outside, and I see the
Yeah.
people in front of me, and Mackenzie and I look at each other and we're like, well, we're just gonna see what we can do in this race. We're a little bit farther back there because I
Yeah.
think Paige was in front of me as well, and I
Paige
was
was
like,
second, second, I thought. I don't know.
and I was like, how is this? You got a distance person all the way in the front of a distance race.
I know. I think it's so funny.
I was like, can we do this by points next year?
I never have any luck with drawing those popsicle sticks or the cards, but especially the popsicle sticks. I'm really bad with those. I even wait till like the last second. I'll pick a card and it's like 10, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah, I was like, there's got to be a better way to do this because I was like, maybe do it because the way you do it at trials, it's by your time, obviously, but
Mhm.
we're not doing time trials at Emerald Coast for like 100.
Yeah.
I mean, unless Dave's like, hey, we're just gonna do your time trials. Fastest time
I hate
wins.
that race so much. I hate it so much.
You don't like time trials?
I like Dobbins. I don't like the like just like the from the line. I like a Dobbins sprint.
Well, see, you haven't done the NSC 100 time trial, have you yet?
No, because I didn't qualify for it.
Mm. You'll like that one. That's real. I think, in my
Yeah.
opinion, that's a lot of fun because you get out there, you get to like slap people's hands and everything like that, and the lights. They bring your music out. They didn't do your like we didn't get to pick our music last year, but previous years we have.
Yeah.
What would be your walkout or your skate out song?
Walk by Holby. It's like a Christian rap song, and I posted it to one of my videos. Or Who the Sun Sets Free. I posted that to another one too. They're so much fun. They're so hype. I don't know. I just
Okay.
like them. Or Kanye West song. I don't know.
Okay.
One of that genre. Something in there. But
You
definitely
know?
walk. I actually posted a walk to like my NSC debut video I did where like I was walking out slapping everybody's hands. That's the song that was on it. It was like the intro to it. Probably if I had to pick one, it would be that one.
See, some people they'll like because they've been in for so long. Like Kelsey, she's been in for so long. She did Barbie
Yeah.
the one year, so that was pretty funny. I think like Mackenzie's is hers is Return of the Mac, so that's like obviously. Mine is like because I like Wolves. I'm pretty sure it's Wolves, but it's like Post Malone and someone. Oh, I can't think of Big Sean. So that was mine.
Oh, that's cool. I know. I feel like it's so cool that they let you add like a personal like addition to your time trial, I guess. I don't know. I think it's funny.
Oh, are you doing NSC trials this year?
Yes, I'm going. Yeah, I'll be in battle. Yeah.
Okay, well, hopefully there's a live stream so I can cheer you guys on. I'm
Yeah.
going in
Me and
fourth.
Phelan are excited. So
It's a lot of fun. I like NSC trials. I don't know if they're doing it the same as previous years. Previous years I've known if you win the race, you're automatically into the NSC. So I don't know if they're doing that, if they're doing a point system for
yeah,
it.
I don't are they still doing it based off of like how you place at Army? Because I know I'm pretty sure that's the only reason why I was in it last year is because I was in the top 5 overall.
I'm not sure. I hope they do that because I'm not able to go to trials this year. So
Yeah, Dad was like, "You want to go to trials?" And I was like, "Yes, I want to be." So yeah, we're going there.
yeah, last year they took well, it depended because they would normally take top three from Emerald Coast for it, but because the top three was already in NSC, they were to go to the next one
Yeah.
after. So I don't know if that
Yeah.
was one of the reasons as well for it, because you did do well for indoors as well. But you were also going against a lot people a lot. I mean, NSC, you're going against people a lot older with it. But
Yeah.
so we're gonna end this out with the final question of it, which is, what piece of advice would you give to a skater up and coming that's like wants to be in the position that you are in now?
Just stay consistent no matter, like, there's going to be days where you do not want to train. There's going to be days when you're like, man, I really want to go hang out with my friends, but you just, consistency is key. Like, consistency is going to lead to growth. And that's just like the biggest thing that I can like tell someone is that, like, if you're going to do it all in. Don't be halfway. Like, if you're going to do it with everything that you have and make it a lifestyle and a passion and not just like a side, something on the side if you want to like be the best that you can be at it. That's pretty much all I got.
I like that piece of advice. I probably should use that a little bit more in my everyday life. Um,
So.
because some things are not in skating, but in other things in life is not as consistent. Always got to work
Yeah.
on yourself, in
Oh
my
yeah.
which I think you have done a lot over this past 3, 4, 5 months since trials. How long has it been since trials?
Let's see. They were in August, like the beginning of August. So 6 months. But I've probably only been training for about 5.
Yeah. I feel
It's
like there's always a
been
need
a long
for
time.
a physical and a mental break. I think sometimes more mental and physical. I had to take more of a mental break
Yeah,
for I
I
was off
agree.
for like
I agree.
what was it? I was off for like a month and a half and I went to the Legends Clinic and y'all thought I was playing when I said, guys, I'm out of shape. I was like,
I remember you said, I was like, Jasmine, you're not out of shape.
I was
Stop.
like, I didn't skate train for a month and a half. I was like, y'all think I'm kidding, but I'm not in shape right here. So I'm gonna do what I can. But at this point, it's going to be experience over physical right now.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
still placed in some of the races because I had the experience. Other times I was like the points race, I was like my dad was yelling at me racing. He's like, you gotta go up and get points. And I was like, I'm dying back here.
I
I
thought we
like
did a limb. We did a limb.
we did both.
We did both?
Yeah.
Oh.
We did a 500, 1,000, a points, and then a limb. All in one day. But there were 5Ks, so
Yeah, that's true. Because you don't have enough people to do a 10K limb.
they made them faster.
I
Long race.
know. I like limb races though. They're so much fun.
Yeah, I only like them to a point.
Do what?
I only
You like
like
them to
them
a
to
point?
a point. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like sprinters can be good at a points race if they keep the pace well. On at Worlds, the pace isn't slow enough, but here in the US, if you keep it slow enough
No, no,
and
no,
let
no
them get
points
points and
race.
let them hang out.
I
No.
would skate an elimination over a points race.
Okay.
And the
Yeah.
elimination
No,
races,
I've grown to like points races more. I used to not like them at all, but I've grown to like them better. Maybe because I've actually like started to learn how to race them. I feel like that's probably another reason why I may like them a little bit. I don't
main point in the points race. Stay in the front,
know.
don't get to the back. Because
Yeah,
I went to the back and
pretty
it didn't go
much.
well. I like the eliminations only because if you're a sprinter, you sometimes have the extra jump on someone that can be in a distance person.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
that's why a lot of distance people don't like sprinters in the races because if a distance person gets caught in the back and a sprinter somehow like makes
I
their
mean,
way
look
up.
at Alicia. Alicia got second in our LM race on track at our meet.
It was
Yeah.
me and Mafe. Mafe went out first because I saw her behind me and I was like, oh crap, I'm about to get out. But she's like I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. She's like,
Yeah.
where she
She
like
was like
waved, she's like,
rubbing her shins the whole race.
it
She was
is
like,
hard.
"Stop." Yeah.
I
But you
don't
don't
think,
skate on it all the time. It tears your legs and your shins up.
oh, your
That's
track?
yeah.
I think to like a point with it.
Good point. If you skate the track the right way, it'll just hurt your legs. But if you skate it the wrong way, it'll blow your shins up.
Well, that is all the questions I have for you, unless you have anything else that, you want to bring up or talk about.
I don't think so. I think we covered pretty much everything.
All right, well then thank you for being my first guest on this show. I'm hoping and hopefully to do more. Maybe I'll ask also Paige in the future with it, but I know she's super busy with training as well. And so
Yeah.
maybe Fridays is your off days and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me. It was so much fun.
All right, thank you. This video was recorded before the news about Paige was posted. We want to send her positive thoughts and prayers to her and to her family. We wish her the best in her recovery. We're definitely going to miss seeing her out on the floor and on the track this season, but we wish her the best and hope to see her back on her skates soon. But take your time, Paige. We are with you, Paige, and we support you. And if you need anything, just let us know. I'm always a text, a phone call away, no matter what it is.